Well, your computer crashes in an instant. Everything's gone. Financial documents, pictures, music, everything.
Can you get it back? Chances are better than ever thanks to new data recovery equipment at Schrock Innovations.
Thor Schrock returns to compute this. Good to see you, Thor.
Good to see you guys.
Have a good weekend?
Oh, yeah. Started working out again after all the Windows 10 stuff, a few too many late night Taco Bell runs.
Right.
And yeah, my body is, I'm trying to sit up straight, but it's really not pleasant.
It's fun.
You'll make it through.
It's fun getting back into the swing of things. You're sore for about a week. Yeah.
Don't ask me to pick anything up. I'm just going to keep my hands right here.
Yeah. Let's talk about these computers and these hard drives. What causes these hard drives to fail?
Yeah, you know, we get that question a lot in the service center. You know, oh, you know, hey, your hard drive is, you know, when they bring a computer in, it won't turn on, it won't boot up is usually the diagnosis the customer gives us. Or the symptom, and so we get it back there and we test it. Like, for example, we were doing Windows 10, we had a guy with a hard drive at 0% health. 0% health
is still working?
Oh yeah, it'll still spin and it still would boot, you know, intermittently, but it was so bad, there were so many bad areas that the hard drive's internal smart technology was saying this hard drive is toast. But most manufacturers actually turn off, every hard drive has smart notification that will tell the computer when it's starting to fail. But if you're HP, if you're Dell, you know, a company like that, you're going to turn off those notifications in the computer's BIOS, because if you're within a 1-year warranty, you can have a hard drive start failing on the first day you get the computer and make it through your 1-year warranty before you notice any symptoms. So they're going to turn off the notifications.
They don't want people calling in warranties.
Yeah, exactly. So when we build modular computers at Schrock, we turn on the smart notifications, because we want our customers to find out they have a hard drive failure when it goes from 100% to 99%. So that, you know, they don't end up in a data recovery, because data recovery is a truly, it's not fun. It's not fun for us because we have to call a customer back. Data recoveries, you know, they range anywhere from, you know, the start of a failure at about $400 all the way up to like a catastrophic multi-drive failure at a company can be as much as $13,000.
Oh, wow.
You know, when you have 4 or 5 hard drives all working together and you got to fix all of them. You know, average recovery cost is around $1,200 to $1,800, and part of that is because, you know, the tools that were available up until this point to do the work are so extraordinarily expensive. You know, we're talking $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 per workstation to work on a hard drive, and those costs have to be recouped, which is why data recovery is so expensive. One of the nice things that we have been able to do at Schrock is we've been able to bring a lot of that equipment into our local Omaha service center. And that way, you know, yes, we do have to recoup our costs like everybody else, but we're not buying 100 workstations and trying to recoup them all off Kayla. You know,
right.
And so, you know, we can go through and say, okay,
I appreciate
yeah,
that.
no sweat. So we can say, yeah, you know, if you were to send this out to Drive Savers, for example, or to On-Track Data Recovery, this recovery would have cost you $3,000, but here at Schrock in Omaha, it's $800. Because we have all the equipment here, my technicians have to be there to work on computers anyway, and it's just another piece of equipment in our local toolbox. We're the only data recovery center in Omaha for consumers that has this level of tools, and we just added a new PC3000 firmware tool.
So that's the new tool?
That's the new tool, yeah.
What does it do?
Okay, so without getting in the weeds too much, when you have a hard drive fail, when they fail for an assortment of reasons, number one failure is firmware. The programming that tells the hard drive it is a hard drive, it's saved on the hard drive itself. So if you get a bad sector on your hard drive, a bad area on the disk, and it happens to fall in the firmware, then you turn on the drive. If you have a Western Digital, it just beeps at you. Beep, 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 and doesn't do anything. Or if you have a Seagate, it clicks, click, boom, and it doesn't do anything. What we can do is we can say, okay, we know this particular hard drive has these 12 firmware sets that it was manufactured with. The PC3000 allows us to say, okay, let's take firmware 1 and route it to a safe area on the drive, tell the hard drive to look there for the firmware, and boom, all of a sudden the data is visible again and we can recover it. The tool is incredibly expensive, but the nice thing about it is, again, we'll be the only service center in Omaha to have this level of data recovery without having to send it away to a third-party provider.
So data recovery is expensive, even though you guys are on the lower end, but how about time? How long does it take? Is this time
That's
intensive?
a great question. You know, depending on the tool set that you have, you know, with the tools we had before, you know, we have a 96% recovery rate. Given the fact that we were using PC3000 substitute tools before this, that's amazing. With the PC3000 now we'll be able to do everything much faster. You can literally identify exactly what part of a drive has failed within about 15 minutes, and then you can give a quote to replace it. The actual recovery time will a lot of times depend on how bad the drive is. You know, these hard drives are sealed environments. There is a little air hole. Air does move in and out of the hard drives. For all you guys, don't email in and tell me, you know, oh, they're not sealed. You know, but they're sealed because there are non-user serviceable parts inside. So when that part when those heads stop working and we have to replace them, that drive was not designed to have that part taken out and put back in. And so when we have to do that, the new part never works as well as the old part did. So the drive, even if we fix it, one, it can never be trusted again. And two, it's not going to work as fast as it did when it was new. So a recovery, depending on the size of the drive, for let's say a 1 terabyte hard drive, can take as long as 2 to 5 days, just depending on how long it takes. And when you think about that, $4, $5, $6, $7, $800 for 2 to 5 days of work on something like getting your baby pictures back.
Sure.
A lot of places will say, "What's on the drive?" If you're going to send it away, never answer that question. Yeah. You say, "Oh, I don't even know if there's anything important on there."
Well, everything's important on your drive.
I don't know. I've had this in the closet for 5 years. I don't even know if I need it. But tell me what it's going to cost. Because if you say, "Oh my gosh, my QuickBooks business records are on there, and if I don't have them, I'm going to list payroll. I got to have them by Friday." Guess what happens to the price?
Consumer tips from Thor
no
Schrock.
Schrock
I like
Innovations. 2 locations in the metro, 1 down in Lincoln. SchrockInnovations.com.
That doesn't happen at Schrock, by the way.
No, we know
That's
that.
other places.
We understand that.
Good luck pumping iron there, okay? All right, still to come, our interview with a first grader who just might have a future in comedy.
Yeah, and a milestone birthday for a faithful viewer in our picture of the day.